Hey guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. Thank you for coming back to the channel. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, you know the drill. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. This is your daily forecast for Thursday, the 23rd of July. If you're watching this on a date that's not the 23rd, that's okay. It is a timeless message for the highest good of the greater collective. Therefore, you might be in alignment to it whenever you watch this. If you want to support the channel, please follow me on Instagram at Engelgeist333. You can also buy a private reading or just like, share, comment, subscribe on any of my videos. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you get notified when I go live. And that's about it. Let's see what's going on with the energy. We have the Five of Swords. This is like a little bit of a competitive energy. Most of the time, Swords is the element of air and can be a little bit of a challenge. Generally, this could be colliding thoughts with other people. I think that we will be the victor with this card. This card always makes me think that because we have that sword splitting the worm in half. And whatever sort of struggles we have, this worm always makes me think that we don't need to worry even though we do get cut in half. Worms can always regenerate. Like you can split a worm in half and then have two worms, right? So when I look at this card, I don't necessarily feel this big. It feels more annoying than anything. Sometimes it can be a setback of our own doing, our own mental sort of frustrations or aggravations, focusing on those things, and that ends up being the sword that kind of cuts through us in the center of what we're trying to get accomplished. Not the best card to see after seeing that Lover's card yesterday. If you guys are slipping out of gratitude, which is the grounding stone for this week, get back into it, please, because this energy doesn't speak to being very gracious. It's more about being kind of in the mental realm, sort of trying to figure things out, struggling with things around us, struggling with our environment. I also sort of, the lack of color in this card kind of makes me feel like we might be dealing with things and being a little too black and white in our thinking. Or trying to push our own agendas or thoughts on others, or others are trying to force them upon us, therefore we need to hold strong. And in doing so, we go into this energy of resistance today. Resistance around maybe somebody's behavior, how they're seeing things, whatever it may be. Don't allow it to overtake you. I would say the counterbalance to this would be to find some flexibility or some looseness. Remember, we have that Queen of Wands. She's about action, and it is that snake imagery, right? And I don't like that this worm is getting cut in half. We don't want whatever it is that we sort of want to take action on, or whatever that Queen of Wands was holding on to sort of, we don't want to lose connection with that. And I feel like with this Five of Swords, there could be some of that, especially with the snake that we've seen in the Cosmic Egg card 2 days in a row. Right? It feels like this worm is that snake. Be mindful of how you perceive yourself or situations around you would be my warning. Okay? Be kind to yourself and others as best you can, and sort of let go of anything that you feel you're struggling to get across, or that you're having to compete to get attention. If you're trying to work really hard at figuring out a way of convincing others, I would say let it go. That would be my advice in reference to this card, because this card is not sort of like the most fun card, especially to have after such lovely cards that we've had the last few days. I will say this though, it is, this feels more of an annoyance than anything, more frustrating than anything. So if any of you are dealing with annoyances, frustrations, aggravations, that's okay. This too shall pass, all right? So don't get too upset about this. So the card that we have, I love this. This is the Nightingale. Look at him singing his song. So this is an element of air, or an animal of air. Again, we've got double air going on here because the Five of Swords is definitely air element energy too. The Nightingale to me, and I don't know his story, I will read it to you in a moment, but I feel like the Nightingale sings his song clearly through the darkness, right? So whatever we might be struggling with or trying to get across mentally, convince others of, or holding tight to our own beliefs and not allowing others to affect us, if we're getting in our own way, or if we're holding on to, like, I almost get like this feeling when I'm looking at this Five of Swords, like we might be holding on with a death grip. The Nightingale to me feels like that sort of opportunity to find that beauty or that song, right? And sort of to sing that song out in a way that's like pleasurable not only for ourselves as the nightingale, but also for others around us. There's a way, it's like that phrase, we catch more bees with honey than we do with vinegar, right? So if we're dealing with some bees around us, or some things that are kind of maybe bothering us in our space or in our environment, things that might be jumping in our way or that we feel we need to combat against, I think that taking this sort of position of the nightingale, which is more passive, more joyous, singing out our song or singing out our beliefs, singing out our desires, whatever it is we need without sort of like forcing it upon anybody, um, is a good thing. All right, it's just a different way of approaching it. Right? Does that make sense? The other interesting thing I feel like is that a nightingale looks like it wants to eat that worm. Did you guys see that? Like it looks like this worm just wants to pop right in the nightingale's um, mouth. So it'll be interesting to me to see what nightingale's meaning is. So let me see here. Let me find first the Five of Swords. I know I've read this to you guys before, but I'm going to read it again really quick. I feel like the Five of Swords was really bad. Yeah, self-destruction. Yet another card of warning. The Five of Swords depicts the destruction of the self. You'll be lured into another situation or argument you know to avoid. Your selfishness and desire for power will lead you to defeat. Pain and discord will result. Again, I think this is brutal, this description of the Five of Swords. I don't think that this feels more annoying to me. Okay, this feels more frustrating. I mean, some of you could take it to the hilt and take it further and really fight and argue and make it worse than it needs to be if you can't let go of the negativity of the situation. But I feel like if you soften yourself and become more like Nightingale, you can actually maybe allow the situation to feed your awareness and become smarter and be sort of on top of your game. That's sort of like Nightingale standing on that planet. To me, it feels like Nightingale's in charge. All right, let's read Nightingale. Fearless voice, speech, communication, or song. The song of the nightingale is otherworldly. This simple brown bird, almost unnoticeable among the flashy plumage of other birds, transports its listeners to the realm of poetry. Nightingale energy is with us when we write, compose, and especially when we sing. It reminds us that music heals the deepest wounds. This card indicates a need to open the bridge between the heart and the voice. Is there something you need to say? How long has it been since you sang? Turn it up, write it down, and let it out. When in balance, the nightingale sings, speaks freely with kindness. When out of balance, it's shy and there's a lump in the throat. To bring it into balance is music. So I think that Nightingale, like I said, is about finding and connecting ourselves in a more joyous way to whatever agenda, ideas, whatever it is we feel like we might feel the need to defend or fight with during this day. Let go of that, guys. Okay. So we have on Snowflake Obsidian, sharing. So grounding in this idea of sharing, how do we share this voice in a way that's productive, that's positive, that's joyous? That would be our focus today. This may only be for some of you and not for all of you, but those of you that have an agenda or an idea, something you want to get across, something you want to share, a thought that you're maybe thinking, I would say go about it from the position of Nightingale, which is much more joyous, peaceful, and lovely than going at it from this Five of Swords energy. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, guys. Just be kind to yourself, be kind to others, sing your song. I'm gonna kill my dogs. I don't know why they're fucking barking, but I'm gonna go. Oh, my life. Nobody's here. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm sorry. This is just crazy. I need to go see why they're barking. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, and we will further build upon this energy. Find the song in your heart and share it from a place of, freedom versus not authority, but like to me that Five of Swords feels like we're trying to force our ideas or justify our ideas, and we don't need to do that with the energy of Nightingale. We can just sort of share it freely without the importance or without the need for validation from others. All right, have a great day, you guys. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, thank you. Bye bye.